Hello everyone and welcome. We're so glad you're with us. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most raw and brutally honest prayers in the entire Bible, Psalm 38. It really is a cry from someone who's hit rock bottom, but it also gives us an incredible roadmap back to hope.
You know, we've all been there, right? That awful, sinking feeling in your stomach when you know you've messed up. It's this weight that can feel absolutely crushing. Well, King David knew that feeling all too well, and in Psalm 38, he doesn't hold anything back. He basically gives us a voice for our own moments of failure.
Okay, so let's get into it. David starts this prayer by describing this intense, almost physical agony that he's feeling under the conviction of his sin. This isn't just him feeling a little sad. For David, this is a full-body experience of God's heavy hand.
Wow! I mean, you can just feel the pain in those words. David feels like God's arrows of conviction have literally pierced him, and that God's hand of discipline is physically pressing down on him. What's interesting is he's not rejecting God's correction. He's just begging for that discipline to be separate from God's wrath, because the weight of it all is just becoming unbearable.
So for David, his spiritual failure is showing up as a physical sickness. See, his sin isn't some abstract concept. It's a real, tangible burden that's making him weak, that's giving him sores. It's just such a powerful reminder that our spiritual and physical health are so deeply connected. Unconfessed sin can truly weigh us down, body and soul.
And the suffering doesn't stop there, not even close. The weight of his sin creates this ripple effect, and it leads to this profound and painful isolation from literally everyone around him.
This is just heartbreaking. The very people who should be the closest to him, his friends, his loved ones, even his own family, they can't even bear to be near him. They see his affliction, what he calls his sore, and they just keep their distance. He is completely and utterly alone in his misery.
So this really completes this devastating picture of David's suffering. Think about it. He's in physical agony from sickness, he's in spiritual agony from God's conviction, and now he's in social agony from the rejection of his entire community. Sin isolates. It just does. It cuts us off from God and from others, and it leaves us in this deep pit of loneliness.
But right here, in what seems like the darkest moment of the entire psalm, David makes a turn. He's been looking down at his sickness, at his sin, at his loneliness. And now he lifts his eyes. This is the critical pivot, the moment he turns from despair toward hope.
This comparison here just perfectly shows the battle that's happening inside David's heart. On one side, he's fully admitting his grim reality. My sorrow is continually before me. He's not pretending things are okay. But on the other side, he makes a deliberate, conscious choice of faith. In thee, O Lord, do I hope. He's placing his hope not in his circumstances changing, but in the unchanging character of God. That's huge.
And you see, this hope isn't just some passive wish. It's an active hope, and it leads him to a decision. It's because he hopes in the Lord that David resolves to confess. He says, I will declare mine iniquity. That honesty before God, that's the key that begins to unlock the door of his prison. It's the very first step toward healing.
You know, David's raw and honest journey doesn't just give us a window into his pain. It actually gives us a roadmap for our own lives. His cry from the pit shows us a clear path to follow when we feel the weight of our own sin and failure.
So the psalm ends with this desperate, urgent plea. But listen closely to the confidence in his cry. He doesn't say, O Lord, who might save me. He says, O Lord, my salvation. He's crying out to the only one he knows for sure can rescue him. It's a cry of absolute dependence and complete faith.
So what can we take away from David's path? Well, here it is. Step 1, cry out honestly. Don't hide your pain or pretend you're okay. Just tell God exactly how you feel. Step 2, confess your sin. Name it, own it before Him. Step 3, declare your hope. Acknowledge your situation, for sure, but then actively place your hope in who God is. And finally, step 4, ask for help. Humbly and urgently ask God to be your salvation. So why does this ancient prayer matter so much to us today? Because it gives us permission to be completely, 100% real with God. It shows us that God isn't scared off by our mess or our sickness or our sorrow. Actually, it's the opposite. He leans in. David's journey from the pit is our journey. And that path is paved with honesty, confession, and trust.
And that really leaves all of us with this question. The weight of failure, it's going to come. That feeling of being in a pit is just part of this life. When it happens, David's psalm gives us a choice. Are we going to stay in the pit, just staring at our sorrow?
or are we going to look up and cry out to the Lord our salvation?
Thank you so much for joining us for this devotional. We really pray it's been an encouragement to you. From all of us here at the You Need Faith in Jesus team, may you find hope and peace in His presence.